Hi, I'm Jade. My daughter Emma's 10th birthday was supposed to be a happy occasion, until my father turned it into a showcase of family favoritism that I couldn't ignore any longer. Emma, come blow out your candles, I called across our backyard, where streamers danced in the breeze and children's laughter filled the air. My husband Mark corralled the excited kids toward the picnic table. My sister Veronica arrived fashionably late, as usual, with her twin boys in tow. Sorry we're behind schedule, she announced, not sounding sorry at all. Dad insisted on stopping for their gifts. I smiled tightly. No problem. We're just about to do cake. My father followed behind, his silver hair neatly combed, carrying a small gift bag for Emma and 2 crisp white envelopes. Where's the birthday girl? He called out with his booming voice. Emma ran up, her dark curls bouncing. Grandpa! Happy birthday, sweetie, he said, handing her the small package. A little something from your old grandpa. Emma unwrapped it eagerly, a $20 gift card to the bookstore. Thanks, Grandpa, she said, giving him a hug. My son Liam approached cautiously. At 12, he'd grown more observant of the family dynamics. Hi, Grandpa. Liam, my boy, Dad said, patting him on the shoulder. Nothing else. No envelope, no gift. Then Dad turned to my sister's boys. And for my special grandsons, he announced loudly enough for everyone to hear. A little something to put in your college funds. He handed each of them an envelope. Tommy, the more outspoken twin, ripped his open immediately. Wow, $300! Thanks, Grandpa. Jamie, the quieter one, smiled broadly. Thank you, Grandpa, that's really generous. The backyard fell silent. My children stood frozen, confusion and hurt washing over their faces. Emma looked from her gift card to the cash in her cousin's hands. Dad, I said quietly, can I speak with you inside for a moment? What's the matter? He replied, genuinely puzzled. I can't give gifts to my grandsons? Mark stepped in. Let's do cake first, shall we? Emma's been waiting all day. Yeah, cake time. I forced enthusiasm into my voice, but my hands trembled as I lit the candles. Later, after the guests had left, Mark found me in the kitchen aggressively washing dishes. The kids are in bed, he said, leaning against the counter. Did you see their faces, Mark? I scrubbed harder at an already clean plate. Liam didn't get anything, and Emma got a $20 gift card while the twins got $300 each. I saw. It was pretty obvious. And this isn't the first time. Remember Christmas? The twins got those expensive gaming systems, and our kids got sweaters. I finally set down the plate. Veronica called while you were putting the kids to bed. What did she say? That I'm being too sensitive and that Dad has always been that way. Well, she would say that, wouldn't she? Her kids benefit? My phone buzzed with a text from my best friend, Nora. How was the party? I need to talk to someone who isn't family, I said. I'm calling Nora. 20 minutes later, Nora sat at my kitchen table, her expression growing increasingly outraged as I recounted the day's events. $300 each versus a $20 gift card? She exclaimed. And Liam got nothing? That's not just playing favorites? That's cruel. What hurts most is that he did it so publicly, I said. Everyone saw. What does your mom say about this? She passed away 3 years ago. Since then, Dad's gotten worse with the favoritism. Mark joined us, setting down 3 mugs of coffee. It's been a pattern for years, but this crossed a line. Nora stirred her coffee thoughtfully. Didn't your mom leave a family trust? I remember you mentioning something about money set aside for all the grandchildren's education. I looked up sharply. Yes, she did. Equal amounts for each grandchild. Who's managing that trust? Nora asked. My father is the trustee, I said slowly, a cold realization dawning. He's supposed to be managing it equally for all 4 grandkids. The next morning, I called my mother's old friend Patricia, who happened to be a family lawyer. I need to look into my mother's trust, I explained after describing the birthday incident. Your father's the trustee? Patricia's voice was carefully neutral. Has he provided accounting statements? No. Never. I assumed everything was being handled properly. As beneficiary's parent, you have the right to request financial statements. When can you come to my office? 2 hours later, I sat across from Patricia, her silver-framed glasses perched on her nose as she reviewed my mother's trust documents. Your mother was very clear, Patricia said. The trust was divided equally among all grandchildren for education and major life expenses. Your father, as trustee, has a fiduciary responsibility to manage it fairly. So, those cash gifts at the birthday could potentially be coming from trust funds meant for all 4 children. We need to request formal accounting. As I left Patricia's office, my phone rang. It was my Aunt Susan, my father's sister. Jade? I heard there was some drama at Emma's party. I sighed. News travels fast. Your sister called me, said you're making a mountain out of a molehill about some birthday gifts. It's not just about the gifts, Aunt Susan. It's years of this treatment. Your father has always been stubborn, but he loves all his grandchildren. Does he? Because his actions say otherwise. He and your sister have always been close. You know that. That doesn't excuse treating my children like they matter less. There was a long pause. What are you planning to do? She finally asked. I'm looking into Mom's trust. Did you know he's been giving cash gifts to Veronica's boys, but nothing comparable to my children? Oh, Jade, she sighed. That trust was your mother's pride and joy. She wanted it divided equally. Exactly. If you push this, your father will be furious. I'm past caring about his anger. This is about my children. Later that day, I met with my cousin Michael, an accountant who had occasionally helped my father with finances. I've noticed some irregularities, Michael admitted after I explained the situation. I assumed your father had discussed them with you. What kind of irregularities? He's been making withdrawals from what I thought was a shared account. Significant ones, primarily when Veronica's boys have big expenses. And nothing for my kids? Michael shifted uncomfortably. Not that I've seen. Would you be willing to provide documentation if needed? For my aunt's trust? Absolutely. She was good to me, too. As we parted, Michael grabbed my arm. Be careful, Jade. Your father's not going to take this well. He's used to being the patriarch who makes all the decisions. That evening, I called Veronica. We need to talk about Dad and Mom's trust. What about it? Her tone was instantly defensive. Have you received statements about the boys' portions? Dad handles all that. He takes good care of them. And what about my children's portions? A pause. What are you implying, Jade? I think Dad's been using the trust unfairly. Maybe exclusively for your children. That's ridiculous. He wouldn't. $300 each, Veronica, cash, at someone else's birthday party. They're saving for college. Your kids are younger. Liam is older than your boys. Look, her voice hardened. If Dad is giving my boys more, maybe he has his reasons. Like what, exactly? I don't know. Maybe he thinks Mark makes enough money to cover your kids' expenses. That's not how a trust works. That's not what Mom wanted. You're just jealous. You've always been jealous of my relationship with Dad. This isn't about jealousy. It's about what's legally and morally right. If you push this, you'll tear the family apart. The family's already torn, Veronica. You just didn't notice because you're on the favored side. I arranged to meet my father at his house, bringing the trust documents Patricia had helped me collect. Mark offered to come, but I knew this was a conversation I needed to have alone. Dad welcomed me with his usual bluster. There's my girl. What brings you by on a weekday? We need to talk, Dad, about Mom's trust and how you've been distributing it. His smile faltered. What about it? I've been managing it just fine. Have you? I placed the documents on his kitchen table. I've been speaking with Patricia, Mom's lawyer friend. Patricia should mind her own business. The trust is my business. My children are beneficiaries. He waved dismissively. It's all being handled. Don't worry your head about it. $300 each for the twins at Emma's birthday. Nothing for Liam. Was that from their trust portions? What I give my grandsons is my business. Not if it comes from a trust that belongs equally to all 4 grandchildren. His face darkened. Who I choose to give gifts to is my decision. Not if the money isn't yours to give. The trust is for all 4 kids equally. I'm the trustee. I decide how it's managed. That's not how a fiduciary responsibility works, and you know it. He stood abruptly. You always were difficult, just like your mother. Mom would be heartbroken to see how you're playing favorites with her grandchildren. Don't you dare bring her into this. He slammed his hand on the table. Veronica's boys need more help. Your husband makes good money. So that justifies stealing from my children's inheritance? Stealing? I'm managing a family trust. I've seen the records, Dad. Withdrawals for the twins' private school, sports camps, even that trip to Europe last summer. Nothing comparable for Emma and Liam. Those boys have potential. They need advantages. And my children don't? Your attitude is exactly why I've managed things this way. Always questioning, always challenging. I want a full accounting of the trust. Every penny. And I want it managed by a neutral third party from now on. He laughed bitterly. You can't remove me as trustee. Actually, I can. Patricia says there's clear evidence of breach of fiduciary duty. Preferential distributions, failure to provide accounting. The court would almost certainly remove you. His face went pale, then flushed with anger. You'd take me to court? Your own father? To protect my children? Yes. After everything I've done for you. What exactly have you done for me, Dad? Or for my children? Besides showing them they matter less than their cousins? Get out of my house. Not until you agree to resign as trustee voluntarily. It would be better for everyone than a court battle. I'll never agree to that. Then I'll see you in court. And I'll request a forensic accounting of every penny that's passed through that trust. His eyes narrowed dangerously. You push this, and you're no longer my daughter. I'll cut you out of my will completely. Threaten all you want. This isn't about me. It's about what Mom wanted for all her grandchildren. Your mother would be ashamed of you, turning against family like this. No, Dad. She'd be ashamed of you for betraying her wishes and hurting innocent children. He moved toward me, finger pointing. You've always been ungrateful. I'll make sure everyone in the family knows what you're doing. Go ahead. The trust documents speak for themselves. Get out! He roared, face purple with rage. Get out before I do something I regret! As I turned to leave, he grabbed my arm roughly. This isn't over! You're right, I said, pulling away. It's just beginning. All rise, the clerk announced 3 months later, as the judge entered the courtroom for our trust hearing. Patricia sat beside me at the plaintiff's table, while my father and his lawyer sat across the aisle. Veronica was conspicuously absent. I still can't believe we're here, Mark whispered, squeezing my hand. After testimony from Patricia, Michael, and a forensic accountant who had reviewed the trust records, the evidence was overwhelming. My father had systematically directed almost 90% of distributions to Veronica's children, while neglecting mine. The judge looked sternly at my father. Mr. Henderson, as trustee, you had a legal obligation to manage this trust impartially. The evidence clearly shows preferential treatment. I'm removing you as trustee effective immediately and appointing First National Bank's trust department as successor trustee. My father stared straight ahead, jaw clenched. Furthermore, the judge continued, you are ordered to repay $127,450 to the trust, representing the amount unfairly distributed beyond the twins' equal share. Outside the courthouse, my father approached with his lawyer. Are you happy now? He demanded. You've humiliated me and taken away your mother's legacy. I protected Mom's legacy, I corrected him. She wanted all her grandchildren treated equally. I was trying to do what was best for the family. No, you were playing favorites just like you always have. Jade. His voice softened artificially. Surely we can put this behind us now. We're family. The time for that was before you stole from my children. I never meant to hurt. Save it. The trust will be properly managed now, and my children will receive what they're entitled to. So that's it? Money matters more than family? Treating all your grandchildren with equal love and consideration should have mattered to you. It's not about the money. It's about the message you sent my children every time you favored their cousins. I want to make this right, he insisted, reaching for my arm. I stepped back. The court has already done that. 2 weeks later, Nora joined Mark and me as we told Emma and Liam about their trust funds. So we have money for college too? Emma asked, eyes wide. Yes, honey, I explained. Your grandmother made sure all her grandchildren would be taken care of equally. Is Grandpa still mad at us? Liam asked quietly. My heart ached at his question. Grandpa isn't mad at you. He made some mistakes that hurt our family, but that was never your fault. Later, as the kids played in the backyard, Nora raised her glass in a toast. To standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. I keep wondering if there was another way, I admitted. He gave you no choice, Mark reminded me. You tried to resolve it privately. My phone buzzed with a text from Aunt Susan. Your father told everyone you're money-hungry and vindictive. I set the record straight. The trustees called. The first equal distributions will go out next month. You did the right thing. How do you feel now that it's resolved? Nora asked. Sad that it came to this. Relieved that my children will be treated fairly from now on. I watched Emma and Liam through the window. Mostly I feel at peace. Mom would have fought just as hard. What about Veronica and the twins? Mark asked. The boys didn't do anything wrong. They're still family. Veronica will come around eventually or she won't. But I won't let anyone hurt my children again. Not even family. To protecting what matters. Mark raised his glass. And teaching our children that they matter, I added, equally and unconditionally. Have you ever had to stand up against family favoritism? What would you have done in Jade's situation? Let me know in the comments.